Who are y'all?
I'm Buffalo Brad. What's it to you, mister?
I'm Little J. The J's for keeping justice in the West. And this pot ain't big enough for the two of us.
Well, how about a third?
Who the hell is that goddamn son of a bitch?
Peacemaker Paul, fastest gun in the West.
You gonna share your half of the pod with him, Buffalo Brad?
I figured it's going to be three ways.
You figured wrong, friend.
Oh, sorry I wasted your time, fellas.
What? Y'all both leaving?
He's my partner. He don't go, and then I don't go.
Say, what's it come to three ways? Unforgiven is next. Welcome to In the Mood for a Movie. I'm your host, Jez, and joining me as my co-host, B-Rad. Brad, what's up?
Oh, hey, Jez?
I can't kill a damn pig. They got the fever, and I can't kill him. Brad, Nixon 5. I thought it was going to be Nixon 6. It sounded better, but, Nixon 5. Every game the exact same as the other, but, sad it's all over.
I had Spurs in 5, so I'm never giving basketball tips ever again. So, yeah.
Aussies in the World Cup. We've got a big game on Friday, 12 p.m. Taking a sickie?
No, I'm at work, but we're all, my team's going to go into work that day, and then we're all going to go out for a boozy lunch afterwards. So yeah, it should be good, man. We're going to watch it. We're going to dress in yellow, cup fever.
The youngest daycare sent out an email, like everyone wear green and gold to school, and we're going to show the game at 12. I was like, okay, so all the educators are just watching the game. Awesome. Not a great result for Manly on the weekend, and also New South Wales. What the hell, Laurie? What do we think? Game 3? Do you reckon we'll get them?
No. Someone told me the other day that out of the history of Origins, only 3 times have New South Wales won at decider in Suncorp. So okay. I don't think so. But Speaking of Foswatch, we lost to the Dogs on the weekend, so I don't know if anyone's got something to say about that later.
Yeah, and with that, we will welcome Paul, who is a big Doggies fan. Were you watching the game on the weekend, Paul?
No, I missed it, guys, but I did see the end result. It was a fantastic score, winning by that 1 point, 13. Yeah. So very nice.
I missed it as well. I was going to walk to the pub next door, and then I started getting some Slack messages or whatever. I was like, I might just sit at home. But Paul, thank you so much for watching us. So, sorry, for joining us, should I say. So this is a podcast, everyone, where we have conversations about movies. This week, we've picked Unforgiven, which Brad has not seen. Now, before we begin, just to let everyone know, there will be spoilers. So if you've seen the movie, you have been warned. Paul, wanted to first, though, learn a little bit about your movie setup at home when you watch home movies. Brad said it's quite a thing. I'll definitely to ask him.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Look, I've got a 152-inch screen with a 4K projector. Brad was very kind to donate some lovely reclining lounges, and we carpeted the area, insulated the garage door and the ceiling, and have a full surround sound system. So it's
even got ducted aircon in there.
Oh yeah, and the ducted air.
It's got massive bar setup.
Can you remember the first movie you put on once you had it all ready to go?
First movie, believe it or not, we watched in there was The Cat in the Hat by.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so that was.
Had to start somewhere.
Yeah. No, we did a kids movie night, and it was fantastic watching The Cat in the Hat. So there you go. Very fond of that one.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Paul. Looking forward to doing the podcast with you today. So, Brad, can you give us a plot summary for Unforgiven?
Sure can. A retired outlaw rides with his old partner and a wannabe gunslinger to help a group of women get justice after a brutal assault. When the job turns bloody, he's pulled back into the violent life he thought he'd left behind.
Thank you. So Unforgiven, 1992. I believe it's on SBS On Demand at the moment. I bought it on Prime. I think you could buy it for like $4.99. So hot tip, guys, if you don't want to watch ads, buy it on Prime or Apple. 1992. What was happening in 1992? So Bill Clinton elected president, defeating George Bush and the first Democrat after 12 years of Republican. A lot happening in Europe, actually. So Czechoslovakia split into Czech Republic, which is now Czechia or something, and Slovakia. European Union was formed. End of the Cold War. Apartheid reform in South Africa, probably could have done that a little bit earlier. A couple of wars. So Bosnia War, Somalia War, Algerian Civil War, or Somalian Civil War as well. Los Angeles riots after Rodney King, so 6 days of riots. The Queen didn't have a very good year. Prince Charles and Diana and Andrew and Sarah all separated, and Windsor Castle, there was a fire. Black Wednesday, I think the pound dropped quite heavily. Barcelona Olympics. The Real World on MTV premiered, so the birth of reality TV. Nirvana Nevermind hit number 1, and then Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You was also released. The first SMS was sent, and then here's some good ones. This is for the big kids. So Super Soaker SPS 2000, the iconic neon water gun, was released, and then some computer games for everyone. So Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Kart, Wolfenstein 3D, The Legend of Zelda, and Street Fighter 2. Anything I missed, guys, that you want to talk about that happened in 1992 before we get to the movies?
No, some classic video games there, though. Jez, Street Fighter.
Did you have a Super Soaker, Paul?
Oh, I did. I had a Super Soaker 60, I think it was.
I don't think we ever had one.
No, fantastic water pistol.
No, I think our parents banned it because they probably knew they knew what would happen.
Yeah. So
I was going to say 1992, you mentioned Mortal Kombat. Not to keep going on about how fantastic Paul's setup is, but he's got not only a pinball machine, but he's got an arcade machine as well, where he jams Mortal Kombat on that thing. It's unbelievable.
So good. Well, I've got a little thing about arcade machines a little bit later, actually. So movies, 1992. Aladdin, The Bodyguard, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Basic Instincts, Batman Returns, Lethal Weapon 3, A League of Their Own, Unforgiven, A Few Good Men, Scent of a Woman, Death Becomes Her, Malcolm X, The Crying Game, Howard's End. Last of the Mohicans, Wayne World, Reservoir Dogs, My Cousin Vinny, Bram Stoker's Dracula, White Man Can't Jump, Sister Act, Under Siege, Encino Man. Any other movies I missed out on, people?
I spoke to Paul this morning, and he told me about a movie that came out in 1992, and it wasn't on your list. Tell him, Paul, what movie?
Oh, it's one of the absolute classics, Armies of Darkness, released in 1992.
I think I'm actually kicking myself because I did see that. I didn't write it down, but yeah. Sorry, Bruce. Sorry, the whole premise of this podcast, but there we go.
Campbell Radio Network.
So, Paul, you wanted to join us for this one, and I believe you're a bit of a Westerns man. So, do you like Westerns? And if so, what do you like about them?
Westerns I really enjoy. They show you a time with lawlessness and some nice revenge, but also people just living on the land and just doing it tough back when things were just very, very different back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What about you, Brad? Do you like Westerns?
Well, sadly, I haven't really seen that many Westerns, but, I'll go into what I thought about this later. But yeah, this has inspired me to watch a few more, so I'm definitely going to watch a few more Westerns.
What's your favourite Western, Paul?
I've got a couple. A few standouts for me is Pale Rider, so a bit of a big Clint Eastwood fan, and The Outlawed Josie Wales.
Yeah.
I also really enjoy the Spaghetti Westerns, which is a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So where Clint Eastwood really kicked off his movie career. So.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So I wrote down a top 12 Westerns of myself, but again, I'll just echo, I love Westerns as well. Like the scenery, as you're saying, Paul, just the whole sort of outlaw. I do love horses, and I've always loved horses, so I always like movies with horses in it. But I love that Westerns can cover a lot, which you sort of touched on as well. Like you can have a heist, like a bank robbery, a train robbery, but there's also like blackmail or like stealing of people's land, the duel competitions, cattle wranglers or farming, romance stories, and then the revenge, as you said. I've got to get through those other two spaghetti Westerns. They're on my list to watch, but my top 12 are, so number 1, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Django, High Noon, Quick and the Dead, Tombstone, The Assassination of Jesse James, Hateful Eight, Young Guns, 3:10 to Yuma, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Unforgiven, and Once Upon a Time in the West. Honorable mentions are Hell and High Water and Back to the Future Part 3, and then Need to Watch, Searchers and One-Eyed Jack, and then the other two, which you mentioned as well. So, Brad, you hadn't seen this before, so I'll get your thoughts first. What are your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I thought it was like a Western with a really great story. So to what you guys sort of mentioned there before, like it's not all bar fights, it's not robbing banks, it's not robbing trains and things like that. This was like a really good story set in the West. And you know, I thought like I mean I don't know about you guys, but I had to like really shut the blinds and everything to watch this movie because it was really dark. Like a lot of scenes were like super dark, like low lit scenes. I'm a sucker for a dark kind of theme. So yeah, I really liked it. And I liked the return, like someone had thought they'd left that all behind, sort of like a return to Wade, like as well. So yeah, I thought the story was fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely had to shut the blinds as well. There's, especially at the end, I'm like, yep, okay, I think I watched the
couldn't see
second
anything.
time.
Yeah.
The last scene, I was like, I'm just watching this in the dark. I can't see anything. Paul, what are your thoughts?
Again, just a really good movie. Clint Eastwood's last Western, actually. So he was his last Western he directed and starred in. The slow burn, how it just is a very slow start and then it just gets up towards the end and then it just really kicks it home how he fully returns to his past. So,
Yeah.
really good movie.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, look, the movie to me is all about fables or tales or stories in the West, and I love how the characters like interact. They've all kind of got stories about each other, and they've all heard of each other before, or they've kind of been in that. Like, for example, English Bob thinking that little Bill had died from falling off a horse, and he's like, "Yeah, I heard that one too." And just the character arc of like the movie. I like that the movies sort of shows as well like that cowboys aren't meant to be like celebrated or romanticized, like and sort of we might have lost our way. And I guess that's the same with war movies, how they can sometimes be a little bit more romanticized as well. The two killings of the cowboys, the first painfully slow and a little bit of amateur, and then the second one he's killed on a toilet. So it's kind of like there's not really anything kind of
Glamorous. Yeah.
glamorous or fun about that. What do you guys think of the character arc of the trio, the three main guys? I'll start with you, Paul.
So Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood, and Morgan Freeman, they played their roles exceptionally well. Gene Hackman with being the sheriff or the corrupt sheriff, basically, and then you've got Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman playing Ned and Will, who just bring the story to Big Whiskey.
Did you think, and Brad, what are your thoughts on the character arc of the characters?
Yeah, I agree with Paul. Like, Gene Hackman's character is like he's meant to be the cop, but really he's like, pretty corrupt and things like that. But I found that the character arcs of like Ned and Will like sort of reversed each other. Like, as in Will sort of started off passive, not wanting to do it, and ended up being like full gun ho, whereas Ned was like gun ho, and then after he couldn't shoot the guy, and he went back to being passive, and it was sort of like an interlink kind of thing. But yeah, it was like all the character arcs are really good.
Yeah, I had the same sort of what Paul was talking on before, like Will coming out of retirement, and then by the end of the film, is everything his wife had changed or didn't want him to be. Ned thinks he still has it, but then he's no longer a killer when he realizes like that he has to kill the kid. And then the Schofield kid as well, like wants to be remembered and feared, but by the end he wants nothing to do with it and just happy to be sort of nothing and a forgotten person. I enjoy that the movie starts and finishes like on the same shot as well. I got some thoughts about the, script about that, but I guess on Little Bill being corrupt. So is Little Bill a good guy or a bad guy of this film? Paul?
I'd definitely go with he's a bad guy. He's one of the he's a bad sheriff in the town. So
Brad?
definitely bad.
Yeah, it's tough because like on paper and like the things that he does, you think he's good. Like he doesn't want, the two guys that cut up the girl to be killed or like, for justice and stuff like that. But then he's like beating up Ned and like really doing the wrong thing there. So I think to Paul's point, like he's bad. He's corrupt. Even though what he sets out to do is correct, he does it the wrong way completely.
Yeah, I think the same. He's just trying to keep the town a little bit safe. No guns, just wants to build his house and live in peace, maybe. But some of the calls or some of his judgment calls in terms of like protecting the town or kind of how he interrogates people probably isn't the right thing to do. So will money coming out of retirement, we thought about, people who have come out of retirement in our lives. They don't have to be cowboys or actors. So my top people coming out of retirement because Will Money comes out of retirement. So I'll start with George Foreman. So retired in 1997 to become a preacher. 10 years later, facing financial trouble for the youth center, he returned to the ring and by 1994, at 45 years old, became the oldest heavyweight champ. Kei Hong Kwong, the short round from Temple of Doom.
Oh.
So had not acted for 20 years, and then his second role back, he won an Oscar for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Daniel Day-Lewis returned to acting last year after retirement for 7 years. Michael Jordan, 1995, comes out of retirement, then goes on to the three-peat. Steve Jobs, forced out of Apple in 1985, only returned in 1997 and revolutionized the company with iPhones, iPods, and everything else. But my number one, and as a New South Wales man, this hurts me, but Alan Langer, 2001, coming out of rep football retirement whilst over in the UK to beat us in State of Origin. I do have a shout-out, Bob Iger from Disney, who retired from Disney for 2 years, saw the share price drop and decided to come back.
I got, the bride in Kill Bill, like she gave up her ways and then obviously she went back into it. And then Joaquin Phoenix as well. He retired from acting and then came back in Paul's favorite movie, Joker. Won an Oscar. Paul hates
Love that movie.
And won an Oscar in Joker. So, yeah.
So we will start. So directed, produced, and starring the one and only Clint Eastwood, Will Money, talking about retirement. So recently retired at 96. So thank you for your service. 4-time Oscar winner. All of his wins are for movies he's directed and starred in. Known as One Take Clint, known for his speedy takes. I believe this was shot very, very quickly. I thought the scenery and shots of the movies are awesome. Always enjoy watching Clint. He's kind of just got a bit of a presence. I find him a little bit softly spoken, but like he sort of still holds your attention. I thought this was his most like timid roles. In terms of like, he starts off a bit of a failure in terms of, being a not very successful pig farmer. Then he goes on to become even weaker, like after getting beaten up and almost dying. And then by the end of the film, I feel like he's the baddest man in the West. Brad, what are your thoughts on Clint and this for this movie?
Yeah, I love it. Like you said, like just on that last point, like he turns out to be the baddest man in the West. But going back to like his directing, I sent you a funny clip when Tom Hanks was talking about Clint Eastwood's directing, and everyone's going like all right, on set, ready, everybody, action, and then Clint Eastwood would just start rolling the cameras and just go, all right, go ahead, and then the actors would just start acting, and it'd be like, okay, that's enough of that. Like instead of like cut and stop. So, and then I saw another clip I should have sent to you. And Matt Damon's he did something for Clint. I think it was
Invictus.
Yeah, and he's like, do you want me to go again and like do another take? And Clint's like, why do you want to go waste everybody's time? So, and he's just the man. I love it how he lets actors, actors are paid to do the job that they do. He doesn't need his ego massaged by doing 17,000 takes. He just goes, all right, I've hired this person to do the job. They've learnt the lines. Let's just roll. And then whatever they come up with, that's it. So I think he does that to pretty successfully. As you mentioned, he's been nominated and won many Oscars. So yeah, I quite like Clint Eastwood. I was going to say my caveat was I've only really seen a lot of his older kind of movies, like Million Dollar Baby, Gran Torino. There's other movies like Letters from Iwo Jima and Flags of Our Forefathers and stuff. So I really caught Clint late on in the game. So this is as early as far back I've gone for Clint so far. But after seeing this and obviously seeing all his work, I want to go back even further. But he was really good in this.
Paul, what are your thoughts on Clint?
Exceptional actor. He's had an absolutely glorious career. Just some of the roles that he's starred in, the Dirty Harry series, In the Line of Fire, another fantastic movie when he's the Secret Service bodyguard. He's had a very long and distinguished career, kicking off his career with the television series Rawhide. He also, just on that, with the Rawhide series, he wore his cowboy boots in Unforgiven, which bookended his career, being his last Western. So the same cowboy boots that he had in the television series Rawhide.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So finished it off with the same boots.
Gene Hackman, Little Bill, so the GOAT. So Gene Hackman, 2-time Oscar winner, without stepping on Oscars, because this is one of them. But we spoke a lot about him in The Replacements, but this is the first of 2 movies of Clint Eastwood, the other being Absolute Power. I believe Clint had to convince Gene to star in the movie. Loved me some Little Bill. I thought he was just classic Gene in the film, holding authority in every word he speaks and just holding all the scene. Like he carries every scene. And I felt, to me, it was noticeable when he wasn't there. And I just wanted to see more of Little Bill. Always enjoy some Little Bill. So, Paul, what do you think of Gene?
Yeah, look, he was definitely a figure that demanded authority in the movie. He kept a very tight rein on his town, especially with the fact keeping the guns out of the town of Big Whiskey. And I'm sure we'll touch on it later when English Bill entered the town, and he really put him in his place and then sent him packing as well. So
Yeah, it's great.
That was English Bob. Apologies. So,
No, all good.
yeah.
Brad, what'd you think of Gene?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I hadn't seen this movie, and I know we did like a Mount Rushmore or whatever of Gene Hackman movies previously. But if I had seen this at the time, this would be number one. He was incredible in this. He was fantastic. Like you said, like real presence, and you notice when he wasn't there, you wanted to see more of him. So yeah, he was great.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman, the one and only Ned Logan in the movie. So Oscar winner for $1 Million Baby, another Clint Eastwood movie. Love all of his work. I thought this was one of his understated performance. Like, he holds the film together. I thought him and Clint bounced off each other pretty well, and they had like a lot of chemistry. You could kind of tell that they were old partners, or like that they had a long-standing friendship. I wasn't quite sure why someone like Ned would stay friends with William, but that's another story, I guess. Brad, what do you think of Morgan?
Yeah, he was great. I mean, classic Morgan Freeman performance. Like, he's always good in everything that he does. I'd put it down a note that, this guy's been 80 since I've been 8. Like, it's been so old the whole time. So, but yeah, it's just classic Freeman. Like, fantastic.
Just very calm, demeaning presence. It's just like the adult in the room. It's like, "Oh, Daddy's here." Like,
love his voice. Love his voice. It's the best. Yeah.
Paul, what do you think of Morgan in this movie?
Played a fantastic role alongside Clint Eastwood. As we saw, he started off strong, but then he kind of fades away a little bit halfway through once he does the gut shot on one of the kids, and then he kind of loses his stomach for it. So yeah, very good play.
So this may be a rhetorical question, but is Morgan the best supporting actor of all time? I feel like he's just such a great partner in all movies. So other people I could think of, and let me know if you can think of one before I tell you who the winner is. So Michael Caine, maybe more so in his later years because he was probably a lead back in the day. Joe Pesci, I don't know though if he's been in like enough movies.
Oh.
John Goodman seems to be like a bit of a B. Don Cheadle, not so much. So, the winner is Walter Brennan. Won 3 Oscars, 1937, 1939, and 1941 for Best Supporting Actor. Ironically, all Western movies. So, The Westerner, Kentucky, Come and Get It. Have you seen any of those, Paul?
No, I haven't seen any of those ones, Jez. No, I haven't.
Okay. And then actresses, there's two that have tied for 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actress. So Shelley Winters and Diane Wiest. Who said whose voice did they love? But my question to you both is, whose voice do you prefer, Morgan Freeman or James Earl Jones? I'll throw it to you, Brad.
Probably Morgan. I know all Star Wars fans are killing me right now, but no, I probably like Morgan better.
What about you, Paul?
No, I'd have to go with James Earl Jones. He's was the voice of Darth Vader. He's got some great roles where he's like when he's in Conan and he's the Snake King and things like that. He's got that real deep, notable voice that you'd never forget.
Yeah,
so,
can't go past Mufasa.
No.
But I do enjoy in Family Guy where they have the Morgan Freeman thing. He's like, people love the sound of my voice. And he does like an ad or something. All right, English Bob, played by Richard Harris, so 2-time Oscar nominee. I had no idea that he was Marcus Aurelius in Gladiator. Did you know that, Brad?
Only through research, but no,
Okay,
I
me too.
didn't realize.
Me too. What do you think of Richard Harris?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed him. I thought he was really good. I know he's in the first sort of couple of Harry Potters until he passed away, sadly. But I know a fun story that apparently he was watching a Clint Eastwood movie when Clint tried to call him and ask him if he wanted to appear in this movie, and he thought it was his mate giving him a prank. So I thought he was great. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah. Paul, what do you think?
No, look, exceptional performance by Richard Harris. Just how he rolls into town on the stagecoach, and he's got the editor or the story writer with him, and then everything that he's been feeding him is total rubbish and made up crap. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's so
I love it as well. So like just his whole introduction or his whole just story arc is just brilliant. Like every scene with English Bob, just loved. So as you're saying, like the character development rolls into town, kind of doing the pistol to the Chinamen, all arrogant, like giving the ladies a tip of the hat. And then when he leaves town, he's just a broken man, lost ego. Did you notice that when he's comes into town, he's got like a real posh English accent. And then when he leaves town, it's all broken and he's reverted back to his just low class Cockney English accent when he's giving them like the FU.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, if you go back and rewatch, he starts with a posh English accent, and then when he finishes it, he's just back to his Cockney.
He's just feral.
Yeah. So Frances Fisher, I believe Strawberry Alice. So she was dating Clint at the time, and I believe they had a daughter together. So I get her, even though I don't believe they're the same age, I get her mixed up a lot with Helen Taylor. So that's the mum in 2.5 Men, or the publisher in Romance in the Stone. I always feel they're the same like person. Anyway. I thought she was really good at Strawberry Alice, like kind of holding all the girls in line. She had a bit of authority. I think it was a pretty bit of a fun role for her to play. Like she was able to kind of give Skinny and Wild Bill and all them kind of her 2 cents, but at the same time being back in the box. Very much a very nicer character than the one that she plays in Titanic. Paul, what'd you think of Frances?
No, look, she played a very good role there, keeping everybody in check and just looking after her girls in the pool room. So it was and just geeing everybody up to try and get some justice for the young lady who got cut up.
Brad, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, just to echo what Paul said there, like the motherly figure, like looking after the girls, making sure that, I guess, raising the bounty to make sure that no one ever messes with the girls again. So yeah, it was good.
So James Wolvett, who's the Schofield kid, so feature film debut. Brad, what other movie have we done recently which he's in?
He was in Dead Presidents as the Sarge, wasn't he?
Lieutenant Dugan.
The lieutenant, yeah.
Yeah, so good. What were your thoughts on him? So Phil, actually, feature film debut as well.
I thought he was fantastic. I mean, I know I keep going like, Clint was fantastic and Gene was fantastic and Morgan was fantastic and Richard Harris was fantastic. I mean, they're all really good. And he was really like perfect, I think, for his part in this movie. You know, the younger kid, the up and comer, but then, you know, he's actually, you know, nearsighted, he can't see far and stuff like that. But you know, he sort of plays the same kind of romanticized sort of version of English Bob in terms of, like, you know, his backstory is like all made up and everything as well. So but yeah, I thought he was fantastic, and I'm surprised he didn't really do too much after this, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised by his IMDb as well. Like, obviously, he does Lieutenant Dugan in Dead Presidents, but I wouldn't say that's like a big budget movie or anything like that. I thought, I think maybe Christian Slater might have market corrected him because they look very similar.
That's a good call.
But that was my thoughts. Paul, what do you think of? Is it James? It's James.
Yeah,
Yeah, James.
Yeah, James. Look, he played a fantastic role, just how he came in, and he was all ready to prove himself and big noting himself about all the killing that he'd done. And then when it all came down to the nuts and bolts, he was did his shot, killed one person, and then decided he didn't want anything to do with it ever again.
Yes, yeah. I did enjoy the like energy and enthusiasm he brought, like, and like acting as the kid around the two older guys, like just a bit of a, you know, like in Shawshank Redemption, how when that Elvis-looking guy comes in that kind of can prove that Andy didn't kill the guy, how he's kind of like, you guys are all making me look old or whatever when they're doing the woodwork. Like, I feel like this guy had the same kind of energy and just kind of boosted the film a lot. I thought he was fine. Like, I probably didn't like him as much as you two did. Like, but in saying that, I think it's hard to kind of dominate scenes when you've got Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood. He's sharing a scene with them every single time. So I thought he did a really good like job in that sense. Saul Rubenix at WW Beecham. So Dr. Saul Funkhauser and Curb Your Enthusiasm, Brad.
Yes, he's been in a couple of sitcoms. He was in that, and then he was also Donnie from Frasier. And it's funny that you mentioned that. Like, I always see him and picture him in roles where he's like a professional, like in terms of like a doctor or a lawyer or a writer in this case. So yeah, I thought, you know, he's got like a kind of like a nervous energy kind of thing about him, but he's always like a very innocent kind of person. So yeah, I thought, yeah, he was a good cast. I liked him.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him as well. I thought like they used him as a tool to explain like cowboy myths or legends like to the audience. And there's another bit coming up in one of the scenes where I'm like, geez, they used that so well, like for his character. Paul, what'd you think of Saul?
Yeah, look, he plays a good role. He's trying to get out the biography while also trying to promote himself as well, and then comes across the story between English Bob and Wild Bill, and then finds out that it's all just a myth, and starts getting a bit of the true information from Wild Bill instead of all just the fluff and rubbish from English Bob. So,
the Duck of Death. The Duck of Death.
Yeah, the Duck of Death.
The Duck of Death. Anna Thompson, so she plays Delilah Fitzgerald and also Francine from Bad Boys, the secretary or the receptionist. I thought she was fine. She has a really great longing, sad face, or just looking off in the distance. What'd you think of her?
She actually reminded me, you know, talking about people that remind people of certain people. She reminded me of Drew Barrymore a little bit. So, yeah. But yeah, she was fine. She didn't really have a big role in this at all, I didn't think. But yeah, she was fine.
Paul, did you find any funny, weird things while researching this movie?
No, found out a lot of information about how it was a slow burn movie and how they kind of reinvented the Western with this one, and brought into the light that, the revenge and the killing was not all that it was cracked up to be. So they, just with the story going from retired to back into action to then back into being retired again and disappearing into the sunset. So, yeah.
What about you, Brad? Anything you want to share?
Apparently Eastwood kept the script for over a decade before making the film. So I think he was waiting until he's a bit older or felt old enough to play money. So obviously a long development history for the movie. And then he also, you know, did the dedication to Sergio and Don. Part of his journey in his sort of filmmaking career just being really strong influences on him.
So filmed in Calgary, Canada. I thought it looked really good. A great, like, very Western film. So shot in 39 days, one take Clint. So Paul, Clint dedicated the movie to Sergio Leone. Most of the rain was made. Took 32 days to build the set of Little Whiskey Town. I thought that was pretty quick. And randomly, Bill Duke's favorite film. Do you know who Bill Duke is? Anyone?
No.
The guy in Predator. It's in the trees. And he's in Commando as well. The bald guy.
Which guy?
Bill Duke. The guy in
Oh
Predator.
my God. The guy with the knife with
he's got the razor.
And he's in Commando
Anytime.
as well. Yeah, anytime.
Anytime.
So there's your Predator reference, anyone. So they also decided to add the scroll at the start and finish instead of a narrator. What are your thoughts, Brad?
I love the scroll at the start. I don't love the scroll at the end. So
I didn't get the scroll at the end. Can anyone explain the scroll at the end to me?
It's like the mum shows up to visit the family, but they're all pissed off to San Francisco. I'm like,
it's like,
I think it'd be better if you just wrote off and you didn't give me that end script.
Yeah,
So,
I don't need the. And she thinks, or someone thinks that they're in San Fran. I'm like, well, I want something a little bit more definitive.
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think? Did you want a narrator scroll, or could have done with both out?
No, look, the scroll at the start was very good. The write up was fantastic. I tend to agree with Brad. The end scroll there about the daughter's mother turning up, that just wasn't needed. It just was. It was a bit of a pointless activity, and he'd taken his winnings and the kids, and they moved on. So left it at that.
Do you reckon? Yeah, it took. She turns up to see a friggin' broken down pig farm. Oh, great. He's successful, isn't he?
My grandchildren are dead.
Yeah, exactly. So, box office, Brad, what was the budget? What's the profit, if there was one?
Well, one take Clint, as you know, he loves to keep low budgets, which is why Warner Brothers are more than happy to give him money. So, budget of $14.4 million, and it grossed $159 million worldwide. So, a nice sizable profit there for Mr. Eastwood and for Mr. Warner Brothers as well. So, yeah, I think he always pretty much makes money, which is why they're more than happy to keep backing him.
Yeah, nice. So just to let everyone know, top movies that year. So Aladdin, $500 million. The Bodyguard, $400 million. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, $350 million. As well as Basic Instinct, same number. And Batman Returns, 265, let's say, million. Oscars and awards. Brad, do you want to run through this as well?
Yeah, well, I can mention the awards if you want.
Or the wins.
The wins. So, best film editing. I'll start with the worst. Best film editing, Joel Cox. Well done, son. Best supporting actor, Gene Hackman. I thought, considering he went against Jay Davidson from The Crying Game and Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men. Also, Al Pacino, who got nominated for Best Actor and won, who also got nominated for Best Supporting Actor from Glengarry Glen Ross. Nice. It's a really good cast, that movie. It's got like heaps of big name actors in it. Movie's like, but then Best Director, Clint Eastwood. Best Picture, Clint Eastwood for Unforgiven. So really well done. And I was watching the Oscar acceptance speeches, and my favorite part, I thought Clint did great in both of his, and Gene was lovely in his one as well. But the best part was going back into a time when they used to only have 5 movies up for the Best Picture. I think they need to go back to that, because they nominate 10, and you're like 3 of these aren't any good. So anyway, I thought they did. I thought it cleaned up for the budget that it had. I thought they really did well at the Oscars.
Yeah, I get that. I think that they need to have like an award for like Blockbuster, or like kind of give somebody award. Like it doesn't have to be the best movie, but like what kind of got people to the cinema or something. I don't know exactly quite what it needs to be, but so this was the third Western to win Best Picture. So the other two was Dances with Wolves and Cimarron, I believe is the name. I haven't seen either. I know Dances with Wolves is on the list.
Have you seen it?
No. Have you seen Cimarron, Paul?
No, I've seen Dances with Wolves. I haven't seen Cimarron, no.
Okay. I do have a question, though, for you fellas. Are we sure about Best Picture for winner? So, winner, Unforgiven. Nominees, Crying Game, A Few Good Men, Howard's Game, Scent of a Woman. The only, on reflection, I think I'm leaning more towards A Few Good Men. Thoughts?
Having seen Unforgiven and A Few Good Men, and I do love A Few Good Men, Unforgiven is definitely the winner.
Could be on an island here. Paul?
No, I'd have to go the other way. I think A Few Good Men takes it for me. Yeah, I do really enjoy and like Unforgiven a lot. It's such a good Western movie and a different take on the Western, but A Few Good Men just is fantastic. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. Who doesn't
Did
love
you
a
order
good
a Cold Red?
Who doesn't love a good drunk Brad Tom Cruise? I mean, just
he does think better when he's got the baseball bat.
All right, so there we have it, 2-1. A Few Good Men. Let's take that back. All right, so favorite scenes. So we'll start with, I've called it Sexy Time and Disfigurement. So starts off pretty hot and heavy. And then
BDSM
I'm not quite sure what the cowboy mate's doing. So he runs in, doesn't know anything, and then just holds the girl as she starts getting cut, and then he kind of like lets go of her.
What a true friend.
Yeah. Whipping ain't no little thing, Alice. And then they go down to the cellar, and Skinny shows him the contract, and Alice isn't too happy about, I guess, the punishment. I love the camera work when they're in the cellar of like how they have, it's sort of on the ground of the two, let's call them prisoners here, looking up at little Bill from like this perspective of like imprisoned cowboys, as I said. 5 ponies for cutting, not too bad, I didn't think, but 2 for being an accomplice, maybe a little bit tough. What do you guys have any thoughts on that scene, opening scene?
Look, I think it was the fact that she laughed at his pecker from memory, isn't it? And
yeah,
she's just that's such a little thing which just sets him off, and then he cracks out the knife and off he goes. So no, look, it certainly sets the scene for the rest of the movie. But it was very, very interesting start to kick it off.
Brad, do you like starting in a saloon sex scene?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hooked me in from the side, I think. So, yeah, I did like it. Like you mentioned, the camera angles. I love a good camera angle, like the camera angle up, camera angle down. It's just such a classic. Like it's the dominating one, like who's in charge or whatever. But yeah, it was a good way I thought to start the movie off.
So next scene, the investments. A girl scraping together some funds to hire the bounty hunters. Just because we let them smelly fools ride us like horses. I love the shot, like just the overall shot of the town that they do before then you go into the saloon. Brad, what did you like? Any thoughts on that scene?
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were so vigilant with their money saving. I thought they would, Jesus, what, a hooker's got $200 on her? Jesus Christ. Like, she's obviously, doing the right thing, saving for a house. But, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that's so much money.
Paul, thoughts on the investment?
Look, I tend to agree with Brad on that one. I think Skinny wasn't getting his cut very well out of the out of his investments. There was a lot of loose cash going on there, and the amount they came up with in the end was quite impressive for the profession that they have chosen, and Skinny being the pimp or the manager, basically.
Yeah. So I wonder Skinny needs to start, paying these hoes less. They're earning too much money.
I want to know what all the wives in town feel about all the girls having so much money, like working overtime. Like,
you said you're at the pub with Bill. What's going on?
Yeah. So then, next scene, Schofield Kid recruits Will. You don't look like no rotten tootin' son of a bitch, no good assassin. I absolutely love how he's like trying to like tough tough talk the young guy whilst the kids are like telling him that all the pigs are sick and like the farm's just going to crap. I love like the whole recruitment and how he's telling her he's like even this scene sets up like the premise of the movie. He's like, she got her ears and nose and tits cut off. It's like, oh, I think she's cut on the face, but I don't know if her tits are actually cut off.
Didn't embellish.
Did you like the kind of introduction to Will, Paul?
Yeah. Look, it was a great introduction to Will. He was expecting to find this full on gunslinger, bounty hunter. He finds a broke down pig farmer with 2 kids and lounging around
diseased
in the mud.
Pigs.
Yeah.
Brad, thoughts?
Yeah, that's such a good point. And then he's talking to him. He's like, Papa, I think tomorrow's 6-2. I actually really felt bad for him. Hey, I mean, he seems to like his kids, but maybe, sadly, not his fault, but maybe he thought he would have a wife that would be helping him. But it seems like he's trying to raise 2 kids whilst being old and tackling pigs and stuff like that. Maybe, sort of, when the guy came in with an offer, it was like, you know what, maybe we could just let the kids here take off and go back to do what I do best. So, I thought, I felt a little bit sad for him.
So, Cowboys bring the ponies to Skinny. It is just so great how arrogant Skinny is in this scene. How he's like, took you boys a while. And he's like, if he didn't come in a couple of days, I was going to call little Bill. I'm like, fuck off, Skinny. He's such a bellend. But I got a question about this scene. Like, why does Strawberry Alice stop Delilah from getting the horse? Because I looked it up. So a pony back then is worth about $30 to $60. So that's roughly 1 to 2 months of wages for cowboys. What else could they get? They could buy some land. So they could buy, like $50 would get you 40 to 60 acres of land. Or you could buy provisions. You could get like 15 to 30 barrels of flour. Or if you really wanted to, you could buy a new saddle to harness your horse. But I feel like Strawberry Alice is kind of cutting her out. Unless the only thing is she feels guilty or they all feel guilty, to take the pony, but to kill them. But my sense to that is, well, you cut my face up, I'll take your pony and then I'll also get you killed as well. Brad, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't understand the cockblock of getting the pony. Like the guy was offering up a pony, but okay, great, I'll take it. Yeah. And then I'm going to pick up some cow manure with my bare hands and throw it at you afterwards.
Yeah,
so
I had that.
I'm just like, okay, lady. I think they, like to your point, they mixed the order up. They should have taken the pony and then, if you're so inclined, pick up some shit and throw it at someone.
Yeah. Paul, what would you do? Got manure thrown at you?
Yeah, I think that'd be quite an experience. That is for sure. So,
would you pick it back up and throw it back at him, Paul?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, let's just hoik it back for sure.
Big
Any thoughts on that scene, Paul?
I think not accepting the pony or telling them to take the pony and shove it was them not wanting to accept their apology, which is what the horse was basically for. So he was trying to give her a horse in saying sorry for his brother cutting him up or cutting her face up, and they didn't want that. They wanted more action than just being given a horse. So
that is such a good point. Welcome to the pod, Paul. That is a great point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
it's a really good point. Next scene, not very long, but I think it's probably the funniest scene in the movie. So shooting practice. The pa used to kill folks. How he's out there with the can just shooting, and then he walks inside, grabs the shotgun, and then I do like that. And then he's terrible at trying to get on the horse as well before he rides off. I do like that they kind of show the rustiness of that. Paul, if you were the daughter or son, what would you be thinking?
Oh, I'd be thinking that Dad's going off to get his head blown off, to be honest.
Coming back.
No. They were going to be having ham or bacon for the rest of their lives. So he was looking very rusty there, the horse scene. And then, as you said, Jez, goes and grabs the scattergun from the shed, and that takes care of that can. So.
Brad, does he sit with the wife asking for permission like in The Equalizer?
No, he didn't. He just,
gives us some flowers and rides off.
Okay, if you count that. But yeah, to Paul's point, he goes inside, gets the big gun, comes like up, blows a can, and he's like, look at the kids. Yeah, I should have can, eh? Yeah, sure. Papa knows what he's doing.
What about when he leaves and he says to the kid, kill some chickens if you have to? I'm like, what the hell else are they going to eat?
You know what? I don't think kids cooking chicken existed then until KFC was invented. Like, there's no way kids that young are cooking chicken. So, I mean, how do they know how to cook a chicken? Chances are they're going to die from salmonella poisoning, but might have an area of ingredients on that later.
So Skinny finds out about the money and the bounty. You're going to hop it 1,000 times? I fucking love Skinny. So he goes and tells Little Bill about the bounty. Thoughts on Little Bill's house, bro? Prime location.
It's
by the water. Bit of fly fishing.
I mean, if he invites me over and it's a sunny day, I'll definitely go. If it's raining, I'll probably stay at home.
I do love how the house is a bit of a plot point. Like they come back and it's a little bit more built or whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, because he's this hard ass guy, but then you catch him big or giggly and shit on the roof. It's pretty funny. So,
and the guy's like, "Oh, you built?" He's like, "What do you mean? That guy just carried some wood. I've built the whole house, Skinny."
Yeah.
Paul, any thoughts on that scene?
Oh, I think it's just showing Little Bill's carpenter skills there and how they are pretty terrible, and everyone's laughing their backsides off that he's building a house and they don't want to be anywhere near it when it's complete.
So Will recruits Ned, and this is where we get to meet one of my favorite characters, Sally Two Trees. She doesn't seem too happy to see Will, but maybe that's from the past. Ned seems to be the only sensible one. Like, he's like, hey man, you haven't been doing this for 11 years since you've shot a gun. Probably asked the right questions. What was the introduction for you with Morgan, Paul?
Look, I think the introduction to Morgan was that William was coming back to rely on his really good friend from the past. Morgan was also, I think, looking for a new challenge or something different because he'd settled into the married life and was just really finding himself a little bit stale and was looking for the next step in his career, so to say, and thought it was a great idea to head off with William to give him some support and help him out. So
I love it when he's watching him try and get on to when Ned's watching Will try to settle up and he's just like, Jesus, Will. I also, as I said, he asked the right question. If your wife was alive, you wouldn't be going to do this. Brad, thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't have it as my Don Toretto, which we'll get into later, but I mean, it doesn't matter if you're single with kids or if you're married without kids. If someone comes along and offers you an adventure, I think every guy's like, hell yeah, let's get out of this life for a bit and go explore the untamed West. So
yeah, and it's in that scene or when they're riding to catch up with the kid where Will's telling Ned that he just needs the money and he's not going back to the way he was. I do enjoy how Ned says that because she's Indian, Sally Two Trees, she knows Will is a no good son of a bitch. So the train with English Bob, really enjoyed that they had the Garfield assassination on the paper from Charles J. Guiteau. Have any of you two watched Death by Lightning on Netflix?
No.
Okay, it's pretty good. It's a mini sort of series about the assassination of Charles J. Guiteau. He's killing Garfield. Definitely worth a watch. English Bob, just such a badass in this movie. In this scene and in the movie overall. Love how they're like, that guy, he works at the railroad shooting Chinamen. I'm like, okay, what the hell type of job is that? But whatever. And then I loved how they go out and they're shooting pheasants on the train. So this is where my arcade game or question comes in. So did these guys invent Buck Hunter? Brad?
Potentially.
What were your thoughts of the intro to English Bob, Brad?
Yeah, it was great. I think someone mentioned, I think Paul mentioned it earlier, or maybe you just, sorry. he's got that aura and that reputation where they're like, he's mouthing off about, a dead president, which any American would fight, quite contrary. You can't say that. And then they're like, oh, shut up, man. That's English Bob. And they're like, oh, shit, I hope I didn't offend you and stuff. So, yeah, I love it how he's got this, like, a reputation of being like, someone that can say what he wants and you don't sort of muck around with him because he could just, take you out in one hit, I guess.
Yeah. Paul, any thoughts?
No, look, I think he just rolls into town expecting it to be a super easy job. Completely ignores the no guns allowed in Big Whiskey. And then he just runs into Little Bill and all his happy thoughts and easy money turns to shit, basically. So
Yeah. So that's what I got down next. So English Bob's defeat. So love how he's all cocky, as I was saying, when he goes into town, like giving the nod to the ladies. When the sheriff's like, "Can you have your guns or whatever?" and he says no,
and he's purposely showing him the pistol, like with his coat open.
But
and stuff.
then the sheriff's all getting freaked out about English Bob before Bill arrives, and the guy's like, "Clyde, you've got 3 pistols and 1 arm, for God's sake!" It's just one of the best lines of the movie. I feel when he comes out from having a shave, Hackman is just having the best time in this scene, just shitting on him. And also, like, he's like, "I thought you were dead." He's like, "Yeah, I heard that too." So English Bob didn't really get very far. So he gets into town, has a shave, and then Bill kicks the shit out of him. It's not too much. Doesn't really do too much while he's in town, does he? Any thoughts, Brad, as well, on, I guess, English Bob and Hackman?
I love that scene how, like, Little Bill knew that he had, like, the extra pistol on him and everything. And then, then you just kick the shit out of him. And then that'll lead into the jail scene. I don't know if we're there yet. Are we there yet?
No, we're not. We're up to now. Yeah. Ned and Will catch up to the Schofield kid. So I enjoyed, or actually, I'll ask you, Paul, what did you think about the plot point about the Schofield kid being short-sighted or long-sighted or whatever it is?
I thought that was a very good add-in to the movie with the Schofield kid not being able to see anything in the distance. How he's talked himself right up as this big gunslinger. He's killed 10 to 15 people, but then it turns out that he can't see as far as the nose on his face. And they get him to try and shoot the canteen, I think it is, and he blows that away because it's like 2 meters from the horse.
Brad? Ned asking Will if he uses his hand because instead of a comfort of a woman. What do you think?
Well, he's a loyal husband, I guess. So
doesn't answer him. Doesn't answer him.
Yeah, he doesn't answer. No one really does, I guess. It's a good scene. I think it's sort of that rapport. Not the rapport building, but maybe like continuing friendship, I guess, if you and a couple of mates, like, me and Paul get together, whereas talking shit, I guess, and, you and I get together, Jez, we talk shit too. So, they're obviously, previous friends. And I guess, the kid, maybe sort of a bit of an outsider, and they sort of get to know him a bit better and obviously start discovering things about him, like, the fact that he's short-sighted, or long-sighted.
Worst disability, quick question, worst disability for cowboys in the West, Parkinson or blindness, Paul?
I'd go blindness, because if you couldn't see anything, someone's going to take advantage of that, and your number's going to be punched. So,
Brad?
Yeah, I think blindness too.
So we've got the jailhouse lessons. So this scene is just fantastic. How it's kind of all funny and joking at the start, and then when he's like to Sol or W. Boocham or whatever his name is, like, take the gun, like, shoot me, and then he's like, give it to Bob, like, see what Bob does.
Awesome.
And basically by the end of it, it's like, Wild Bill, like, I'm your daddy, like, I'm the man. It's just a really good scene. Did you think someone was going to get shot in that scene, Brad?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, like, I think Little Bill knew that Beecham or Beechamp or whatever wasn't going to shoot him, but then when he's like, how about I give the gun to English Bob, and then his face, like, Gene Hackman's face just changed, and you're like, oh shit, he didn't anticipate that, and I really thought someone was going down there. So yeah, it was a really good scene. I think it was like debunking myths, with Mr. What, Two Guns? And what about his second gun? He's like, well, we didn't call him Two Guns because he didn't
Yeah,
actually have two
so
guns.
good. Good massive
So,
wang.
yeah. So, yeah, it was good. It was like debunking the myth that he actually shot him, and then talking about how, we'll touch on that scene later on, but you got to stay cool under the pressure in a gunfight. You don't just start shooting. You got to, be patient enough to line your shot up and, calm it and then shoot. And that's how you win a gunfight and stuff. And that really set up a future scene, which I thought was really cool.
Paul, Little Bill, was he like a gunslinger before he became a sheriff, or?
Yes, he was also a gunslinger as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I couldn't quite work that out, but that's another thing I love about the West, how you become a gunslinger and then you go to another town, you become the sheriff of the town.
Retire as a cop and be untouchable for my previous sins.
Any other thoughts on that scene, Paul?
I think Little Bill was absolutely hanging for the gun to be handed to English Bob, because he was getting ready to just absolutely blow him away. He was edging to shoot him, but knew that he did. It looked badly upon himself as being the sheriff and a lawman killing somebody inside his jail who was locked up and incarcerated. So
yeah. So next scene, Money's beating, or Will Money's beating. So the kid and Ned go upstairs for some free ones. Massive dog on Will Money there. And then Gene walks in. Well, Mr. Hendershot, what if I say to you, you're a no good son of a bitch liar? Brad, would you dog your mates like that? Would you dog your mate who's dying of fever? Like, just going to go for a quick one. Don't tell Sally Two Trees, please.
Yeah, he's a good. I mean, Will's a good friend, man. He doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah, bro code 100%. But I love the fact how they all lie. Like, no, man, I don't have a gun, and like they've all got a gun on them and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I actually did like that scene.
Any thoughts on the scene, Paul?
Look, another phenomenal scene in the movie. How Clint's just trying to sit there and have a or get over his sickness that he's got, and
there's no hospital in town, so he might as well just sit in a bar.
No, that's right. And little Bill comes in and just absolutely beats the stuffing out of him when he finds he's got a gun and just kicks him to the curb. So
yeah. So next scene, the recovery. So the ladies smuggle them to a safe house. So finally the ladies say no more advances. The boys have been having a bit of fun. I do enjoy when Will's like breaking down. He's like, the angel of death. He has snake eyes. And then the Schofield kid's like, he ain't nothing but a broken down pig farmer. I did enjoy in this scene when Will and Delilah are just chatting afterwards when he's eating, and the kind of the snow, the
beautiful background. Yeah.
Delilah offers as a free one. I feel though Will by this stage has dug himself a little bit of a hole where he has to take the free one. Like at first, how he's like, "You're as ugly as me," or something about the scars. And then he's just digging his hole as he's saying no to the free one. But he's like, he's just digging him as hole. I'm like, man, I think it might be easy if you just quickly have a quick shag here and then we move on. Paul, how would you get out of that if you were Will? What would you do?
There was no getting out of that one. He was starting to dig up. So that hole was too deep.
Brad, any thoughts on the scene?
Well, no, I've never been put in that position before, so there's still time. No, so yeah, I mean, lucky Clint. He has to choose between having sex with a lady or choosing not to have sex with a lady. So there you go.
Next scene, death of Davy. So one of the cowboys, finish him, Ned. I would be telling the Schofield kid to shut the fuck up. Blind man, like if I was Ned, as he's like, quick, shoot him. Have you shot him yet? I'd be like, shut the hell up. So I love how this scene, they just make it like just, I guess, painfully sad how bad the death is, and it's just so slow, and like, can we give us some water? And then, you see Ned quitting shortly after this. I did enjoy sort of the camera angles and the scenery of this scene. Paul, any thoughts on the scene?
I think that's when Ned just absolutely realizes that he's lost the stomach for killing, and then the guys are screaming and he's climbing behind the rock, and And they're going, someone get him some water. And then Will goes, for God's sake, get that man some water. And they're like, you're going to shoot us. And he's like, no, I ain't going to shoot. You ain't going to shoot? No, we ain't going to shoot. So, yeah, no, great scene. And they dragged it right out, how he and a real slow and painful death with a stomach wound as well. So
yeah, exactly. I like the crab walk as he goes and gives them some water. Brad, any thoughts?
Yeah. I thought this was like maybe one of the first scenes of the de-romanticizing of the cowboy sort of thing, where it's like, hey man, actually killing is pretty brutal and it's pretty sad, and it's not just like a quick death in some cases. But I also like there's a couple other scenes like this too, where it's like, you're not going to shoot, and it's just like there's like an unwritten rule that if you say I'm not going to shoot, no one's going to shoot, and you can just start going around, assisting people and stuff like that, or escaping and things. So yeah, it was a really cool scene, and to Paul's point, that's when Ned just really doesn't have the appetite to do this.
Yeah, great. So next scene, I'm calling it We Got One. So they captured Ned. I liked how at the start of this scene, there's like a guy naming the type of horses that they were riding, which I thought was pretty cool. The camera work when they're whipping Ned, or the whipping sound, and it goes to like a face of like one of the prostitutes, and then it goes to like a face of someone else, like the edits, I thought was really great filmmaking. And then this is where I felt the biographer or storyteller, his sort of tool being that in the movie is awesome. How he's writing down the names of like the stories that Ned's telling, and then like the sheriff's looking over and it's uncovered that it's all a lie. And then little Bill with the massive checkmate, like when he tells them the whores are going to come in and tell a different lie. So it's just like you're completely effed. Paul, what'd you think of that?
Oh, look, it's just such a great scene how little Bill just unravels his story, and they're just absolutely beating the stuffing out of him, and he realizes that his goose is cooked, and he's about to either start singing like a songbird or little Bill's going to kill him. So
yeah, Brad, any thoughts?
Yeah, this is I think Hackman at his peak when he's like, if the lies don't match up, well, I ain't gonna hurt no woman, but I'm gonna hurt you, and not gentle like before, but bad. And he's like over the top of his shoulder, like saying that. I saw an interview like Morgan Freeman just go like, man, I felt that scene so hard with like, Hackman and stuff. So yeah, that I think that's peak Hackman right there. I can't think of a better scene with Hackman in it.
Yeah, nice. The outhouse execution, so not too much. I just thought it was a pretty cool scene. The kid opens the wrong door, which is pretty funny, but again, kills a man on the shitter. Nothing really too heroic about it. I thought the guy probably should have maybe reached for his gun when he heard people coming outside. Like, it'd be a bit more on sort of ready for it. Brad, thoughts on the outhouse execution?
Yeah, I thought it was cool, and it didn't. Like the fact that the Schofield kid went through with it and killed him, and seemed to have killed him pretty quick. It wasn't like a huge hesitation, like sort of justified his story, which obviously you find out later is false, but justifies his background. Like he ain't afraid to go out and kill people. So yeah, it was a really good scene. Like he's happy to get his hands dirty. It doesn't have to be just Will doing all the killing.
Yeah, Paul.
Look, the Schofield kid wiping him out in the bathroom, it felt like a little bit of a deflating scene. The guy's on the loo, he opens the door, and he's caught him with his pants down, literally.
Yeah.
And then he just shoots the stuffing out of him. It's like, okay, you got him, but there was no real premise to it. Like, yeah, he was trying to kill him. He killed him, but he's on the toilet. Like, there's no fighting back. There's no defense. It's just like, bang. Gotcha.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Do you reckon that'll be a bad toilet bomb, Paul? If you're moving that body later, I call a toilet bomb jam when someone does a shit and then leaves the toilet seat down, and the next person opens up the toilet seat and you got all the smell from the person's breath. Yeah. I call that toilet bombing. So
thanks, Brad. Thanks, mate. All right, kid's confession and news of Ned. So awesome shot of the lady riding up, and I like where they're kind of settled under the tree. They have like a 360 sort of view, so they can see if anybody's kind of creeping up on them. So really enjoyed the scenery around. I shot that fucker 3 times. I do also. I find it really, I don't know if enjoyable is the right word, but just when like Will is all confused, like, why would anyone kill Ned? I'm like, well, he's part of your posse, man. Like, of course they're after you guys. Paul, what do you think of this scene?
A really good scene. I think it had a really, it has a massive turning in the movie, and they find out that Ned has been killed because they're like adamant. He's ridden off into the sunset. He's headed home. And then they find out that, no, little Bill got a hold of him. He's now dead and he's on display out the front of the saloon. So that was a real turning point, for me in the movie and, for the Schofield kid and Will. And they kind of just realize, oh crap, well, Ned's dead. Ned's dead, baby. And,
And a motorcycle is a chopper.
I agree. And it's kind of like, well, we thought it was over, but it's not over. Like putting Ned on display, you can tell like that's gonna get Will upset and go visit Bill. Also Will back on the piss as well after hearing the news. He's like, give me that bottle of whiskey. Brad, any thoughts on the scene?
Yeah, I love the scene. I think Paul said turning point, and it is such a turning point in this movie. Like, I'm watching it, and they're like, Ned's dead. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he's dead. Like, I can't believe he was dead. And then she's telling it, and the way she tells it's just so sad. Like, yeah, he's beaten him. He just died. I'm like, man, like, that's so sad. And then to your point, Jez, like, he just grabs the bottle from the Schofield kid and he starts drinking and just like, he's completely like, he's cool as a cucumber, but I could just feel the rage inside him just like building and stuff. So yeah, it was, and then obviously that leads into the next scene. So
yeah, so the final, maybe second final scene. So the saloon showdown. So Ned arrives at the saloon whilst Little Bill shouting everyone 2 drinks. Got to pay for your next one, but 2 shots. Good on you, Little Bill. One of my favorite lines of the movie. Who's the fella that owns this shithole? The sound of the shoes as well after the gunfight, and he's walking around, you can hear the spirals, is just fucking awesome. And the use of the bar mirror as well. Brad, what do you think of this scene?
I love this scene. I think you nailed everything. Like that opening, like who owns this shit up? And then it's like, he's just adamant on going to start killing people. It's like, hey, you fellas might get out of the way. Like, he's letting people know he's going to kill them. And then to your point too, like, this goes back to the, the slow motion sort of, you got to be cool and shoot your target instead of just firing off. And then when it's all quiet, you can just hear his spurs on the go like ding, ding, like as he's walking across. I'm like, this is unbelievable. This is peak cinema. So yeah, I love this.
Paul, what do you think? And Hackman's death as well in this scene.
Oh, look, I was saving this one for a little bit later as the Hans Gruber and got another scene too, which I'll bring up back up in there too. Just a phenomenal scene. He walks in and as you said, he ushers everyone out. But this place got a back door. You better head on out the back if you don't want to get killed. And and then, as you said, who owns this shithole? And he just blows Skinny away. And it's like, he didn't deserve that. That's like,
maybe he should have armed himself. Yeah, he shot it on her, man.
Anybody who displays my friend out the front of this establishment, like, just phenomenal scene. The showdown in the saloon.
So then we've got the departure. So basically, by the end of the movie, he's turned into the person that he didn't want to be. I fucking love the line where he's like, "Any son of a bitch that takes a shot of me, I'm not only going to kill you, but kill his wife and his friends and burn down their house." I was like, all right, I'm not touching that guy at all. Brad, what do you think of the departure?
Yeah, it was awesome. And it reminds me of The Usual Suspects, like when they go like, why didn't you shoot Kaiser Soze? And it's like, like how do you shoot the devil, in the back? What if you miss? Like it's the same thing. The guy's like lining up, Will Money, and he's like, maybe I'll wait, because if I miss, he's gonna just kill us all and kill my wife and everything like that. So yeah, it's cool. And it goes back to the nobody shoot. And like everyone's like, okay, we would shoot. And then he's like takes off and he's like, if I hear you do anything bad, I'll come back.
Yeah, you better bury Ned right. If you cut up his body, I'm like, what are they cut? It's not the fucking Middle Ages. They're gonna like court him and send him to the 4 sections of the UK. Yeah. Paul, what do you think of the ending scene?
Oh, look, it really topped off the movie beautifully. The ending scene with William Money just exiting the saloon, as you said. He's just like, if I hear anything, I'm coming back here, and you guys are in some deep shit. So it's just awesome finish.
What's your Hans Gruber if you don't want to do the shooting scene or whatever I called it, the saloon showdown? What's your Hans Gruber? Paul?
My Hans Gruber, well, it definitely was that end scene when the big showdown in the saloon was absolutely fantastic, and then he just absolutely blows Little Bill away. But the one that really hit me hard, or hit me for 6, was when he just grabs the bottle off the Schofield kid, and as Brett said before, he grabs the bottle, he's back on the drink, and it's just like, bang, I'm into it. Let's do this shit. So because he wasn't there, but then after the death of Ned and the whiskey in the bottle, he's like, yep, well, we're going all in. Let's do it.
Brad, what about you? What's your Hans Gruber?
No, that's a good call out, Paul. I really do love the turning point, but I think it's your Hans Gruber too, and I think it might be a clean sweep. We'll find out in a second. But that final bar scene fight, like that showdown, that's like 20 out of 10. Like it's heaven. It's so good. I've watched it like so many times since. I mean, Jeremy mentioned it, like the sounds of the spurs as he's walking is just so cool. He's just so badass. The guy's like, were you lucky? Like, he's like, were you strategic in the way you shoot? And he's like, no, I just got lucky. He's like, I don't remember who was shot first, but I remember who was shot last. And the guy's like, fuck, I'm out of here. Like, it's just, man, that is just, I mean, again, don't spoil it for me because I haven't seen the other Eastwood movies, but if it's half as good as that last scene, I will watch so many of them. Like, it was just unbelievable.
My favorite scene, surprisingly maybe, is Little Bill and English Bob confrontation. So I'm basically going to go from when English Bob comes into town to when he leaves town. But if that's too long, I'll go from when he finishes his shave to then like the prison and then like leaving town. Like I love English Bob. I love Little Bill with each other. Best quote, Brad?
There was a few quotes I liked. I liked it's a hell of a thing to kill a man, take away all he's got and all he's ever going to have. And then the Schofield kid's like, yeah, well, I guess he had it coming. And then Money's like, oh, we all got it coming, kid. And then Money's like, I've killed women and children. I've killed everything that walks or crawls at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, Little Bill, for what you've done and did. That was great too. But my favorite, and you guys have already quoted it, who's the fella that owns the shithole? It's just the best. It's the best. So, yeah.
What about you, Paul? What's your favorite quote?
No, total agreement with you guys on that one. The shithole comment is just mind-blowing. It's just fantastic. It's like, who owns this shithole? It's like, yeah.
And it's the first thing he says, like when he rocks up and everyone's like, oh, can't believe he's here. It's just so good.
I do love how he just is there and he's holding the gun, like the shotgun up in the air and the rain sort of dripping off of it. It's so great. My favorite quote is, and I'm pretty sure this is Little Bill's last line, I don't deserve this. I was building a house.
That's good too.
Best song or score, Paul?
I didn't really have one for this one. Being a Western, it doesn't, like, it's got obviously the mood music and the different tone music in the background, but it hasn't got a real soundtrack that I'm going to listen on Spotify or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, Brad?
No, yeah, I agree with that too. There's nothing really that I'm going to listen to on Spotify, but I don't know if it has inspired Unforgiven by Metallica and Unforgiven 2 and Unforgiven 3, but if it has, well done, because those are great songs.
I didn't have one either, but I did think to myself during it, geez, wouldn't this little number be great?
Can I, that's off,
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 3.
I learned it's actually ZZ Tops, and they're doing one of their songs. I never knew. I was like, oh my God.
Can I say, I said that to Paul, and I'm like, oh man, it's ZZ Top. And then Paul wrote, being a movie aficionado as yourself, I can't believe you didn't know that. And I'm like,
I didn't know it. I didn't know it.
I got birds.
Any pre-2000s things, Paul?
No, none from me, Jez.
Brett?
The whole thing's pre-2000.
Yeah.
So.
I got a couple. So no painkillers, especially when the stitches out. Suggesting to drink whiskey to help with your fever. Was this the beginning of fact-checking? So like the journalist, the biographer, little Bob, he's getting fact-checked for all his stories. And then the other one, cleaning your parts with a cloth after having sex.
It's the polite thing to do.
The Benjamin Button. So what has aged the best for you, Paul?
Look, I think the movie itself has aged very, very well. It's just a timeless classic Western. But as it being Clint Eastwood's last Western movie that he did, and starred and directed and produced it, so that was absolutely fantastic. But it holds its place up there as like definitely one of the best Westerns, almost of, I wouldn't say of all time, but it's a pretty damn good one. So.
Yeah, great. Brad, any Benjamin Button?
Yeah, I had lying to the police. So English Bob lied about carrying a weapon. Bill Murray lied about carrying a gun and gave a false name. Ned lied when he was getting beaten. It doesn't matter if it's 1881 or 2026. People still lie to the police. So
nice. I had a couple. So Town Called Big Whiskey, I thought was great. Shooting pheasants on a train. Having a biographer walking around with you, pretty good. Calling everyone a son of a bitch, I really enjoy. Free ones, sounds like fun. And no guns in the town, I thought was pretty cool as well. Brad, what's aged the worst?
I had whipping an African American. It's never a good look. So
I had a couple of comments about that when he's riding into horse as well with his hair. I was like, why does it always have to be the black guy?
I'm like, maybe they could have had him like, in a chair, and he was like beating him, like, punching him in a chair instead of, I don't know, just the whipping of a, I don't know. It's not a good look.
Anything else?
No.
Well, Paul?
No.
I had Ned quitting after he'd already had some free ones. Threatening to kill someone's wife if they shoot at you. Being a feared gunslinger, retiring to be a pig farmer, not great. And then being known for killing women and children, even back then, I think would have been a pretty rough reputation. Paul, who are you having a beer with?
Look, I'm definitely having a beer with Clint Eastwood. Absolutely love him as an actor. And I wouldn't mind having a beer with Gene Hackman too if he was still with us. Absolutely fantastic.
What about you, Brett?
I had Ned. The dude has a wife, but he's down to party and whore around. So I think he'd be a pretty cool hang.
So I had Little Bill shouting all the lads a drink before Will turns up. And then housewarming at Little Bill's could get a little bit wild. You never know. So, Goat Cast, I did see that Jeremy Irons was considered for English Bob, and since I've seen that, I'm just like, man, even though how much I love English Bob in this movie, I couldn't get out of my head. I was like, oh, that could have been really cool as well. I do have a couple of people. So Jamie Woolitz, or the Schofield kid, I know you both like him in this movie. I would have actually replaced him with Christian Slater if I could have. And Skinny Dubois, I actually also really like him as well. But if I've got free reign to casting, I'm casting Scott Glenn. Do you know what Scott Glenn is, Brett?
Not off the top of my head, no.
The bad guy in Backdraft.
Oh,
he's in a couple of other things.
In Backdraft? Isn't the bad guy in Backdraft?
He's the FBI director in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
Okay, yeah. And then for Delilah, I would have swapped to Winona Ryder, but she might have been too famous. So my other one is Shannon Doherty, who was like in her early 20s back then. Anyone that you would replace in the cast, Paul?
No, look, I thought it was a pretty timeless cast for the actual movie, and like Clint picking himself as the gunslinger because he is known for that. And then you got Ned and Gene Hackman just playing absolutely exceptional roles in the film.
Yeah. Brad, anyone you would recast or cast?
No, I thought the cast was fantastic. I think, I think you got your main people, like your Clint, your Gene, your Morgan, your Richard Harris, and your James, the Schofield kid as well. So,
Yeah.
I don't think you really need to swap any of them out. I mean, the minor characters maybe, but they're all fine.
The only other thing I would have had is maybe Sam Elliott to narrate instead of the scroll.
Yeah.
Only because I want it better. Okay, Paul, here you go. This is why you're here. What character could Bruce Campbell have played?
I had Bruce Campbell playing the Schofield kid when they're up in the room getting their advance, and Bruce bursts in the door and he goes, "Hail to the king, baby. Give me some sugar."
Yes, Paulie, that's good. Well done.
Perfect. No notes. All right, Brad.
I had Bruce Campbell as Skinny, the owner of the saloon. So I got a scene. So Delilah gets ugly drunk. Well, one night and she's running around trying to give out free ones since she's had no action in a while, scaring patrons. So Bruce steps in and goes, "Lady, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store."
Okay. I also had Skinny Dubois. And I had the scene where I think, after English Bob gets kicked out of town, and he's like, "Delilah, those tables ain't clean. Can't you get them clean? I need you to cover up your face so someone might want to hump you. So don't you have to do all that cleaning? God damn it. What do you call that things to cover up your face? What's it called?" And then a prosy, "A veil." "Yeah, a veil. Get a veil, baby." Brad, does this movie deserve to be over 2 hours? It's 2 hours, 11 minutes. It's more 2 hours, 5, but it's over 2 hours.
I think Paul said at the start, it's a slow burn, and I get that it's a slow burn, but I think it could have done with parts that it didn't need to. Like, I think it could have gone like the opening credits scroll straight into Will Money being like at home by himself. You don't need the kids there. You know what I mean? And then the guy rocks up because he's like a retired gunslinger. And that sort of cuts about 10 minutes or whatever off at the start of the movie, or 5 minutes or whatever. And then you cut that last little, the end scroll at the end and stuff. So there were a couple little cuts, I thought, just to bring it down a little bit. But I wouldn't cut too much. But it is a little bit of a slow burn at the start.
Yeah, cool. What about you, Paul?
No, look, agree with Brad there. I think it was a tad too long, but you needed a lot of the information to bring the movie all together. It was, as I said, slow burn movie. It starts off, it's very slow, and then it just picks right up in the middle and towards the end, which brings it home nicely.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to all of you. Like, I think it paces pretty well overall. Like, you could edit it a bit, but like the scenery shots in westerns are so good, so I wouldn't mess with that. I was thinking maybe you could, like, he didn't have to get sick, so you wouldn't have to kind of get him recovering or hallucinating. You could maybe cut that. But again, these are all minor things where it's going to make it like 2 minutes shorter. So I don't think it would do anything. You don't need to do anything to this movie, is what I'm saying. Porn title. Paul, do you have a porn title for this movie?
I do. I've got, all right, Unforgiven 2. In the frontier town of Big Pecker, Wyoming, ruthless cowboy turkey slaps a local sex worker, outraged the town. Adult Entertainment pulls their savings for hire a legendary stud, a retired gunslinger, to deliver some much-needed rough justice.
Oh, because of a turkey slap. I love
it. Brad, what's your porn title / porn parody?
I had Freegiven. A bunch of nobodies in search of a good time pretend to be cowboy bounty hunters to trick local prostitutes all over the Midwest into giving them free ones as advance payment for bounty they'll never pursue. Dusty Rough Rider quotes, "Why pay for something when I can trick someone into getting it for free?"
So ours are a little bit similar, Brad, but different. So my one's Unforeskin, which I don't think has anything to do with the movie, my synopsis. But saloon workers offer upfront free ones to bounty hunters to track down 2 abusive cowboys. Dozens of amateur bounty hunters and gunslingers come to town seeking their deposit and flee. Facing financial ruin, from the lost revenue, the workers must launch a grueling marathon session to recoup the debt from the remaining locals.
Deposit, that's the best.
So best outfit or prop, Paul, you sort of you stepped on it or you took mine. So mine were the boots. So Clint Eastwood, as you said, wore the same boots in, is it rawhide? Rawhide. Yep. So that was my one. The other one would have been, is it the Schofield rifle or the long-range rifle that they use? Paul, what's your best outfit or prop?
No, you nailed it, Jez. They were my two. I had the Schofield rifle from Ned and and Clint Eastwood's boots. Going straight to the pool room.
Yeah, so. Nice one. Brad, what about you?
If I knew about the boots, it would have been the boots. But I have Real Money's 10-gauge double-barrel shotgun that he used out there.
Nice.
So the Frederick Zula, the best performance on or off screen. I guess there's 2 people that have won Oscars. So, Brad, what are your thoughts? Are either of them?
Well, although Hackman won the Oscar and was probably the best, for me, Unforgiven is all about the story and the storytelling. So in this case, it's going to deserve the praise. I think it's going to be Clint Eastwood. And I know that's 3 directors in a row, but I have to go with that. I have to go.
Nice one, Brad. What about you, Paul?
No, look, Clint definitely deserved that one. He was also nominated for the best actor role, didn't get it. But the best picture, Gene Hackman, best supporting role. Just such a good movie with the guys getting the 4 Oscars under their belt. So.
That's a good call out, Paulie. Do you reckon? Al Pacino won for a Scent of a Woman. Do you reckon Clint should have won, or are you still going Al Pacino though?
Oh, no, I think Al Pacino deserved that one. He did such a good job in that particular movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Hoorah! I had Gene Hackman, won the Oscar, and as I said, I just loved every scene he was in. What happens after the credits stop? So where do we think the characters end up, Paul?
I reckon William Money sets up a butcher shop in San Francisco, selling pork and bacon products after herding his pigs across the countryside, and opens up his own deli.
That's cool.
Brad, what about you?
I had the text. So Will Money. The text call at the end tries to tell us that Will moved to San Francisco and prospered in dry goods. But little do we know that those dry goods turned out to be dead, dried out corpse of more bounties that he collected. So more money, yo.
I had Will Money gives up the farm and moves into Little Bill's new home with the kids and becomes sheriff. Delilah moves in with them and is the nanny, and Strawberry Alice becomes mayor of the town whilst running the saloon. So Theory Corner, anyone got any theories they want to share? Yep.
Yeah, I had The Quick and the Dead, which came out in 95, so about 3 years later, by our boy Sam Raimi. Gene Hackman's character, I reckon, is probably based a little bit off Little Bill. Like
very similar.
They're very similar. Like the boss of the town, it's their rules and things like that. That's my theory corner. You guys want to put your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good one. I was actually thinking that throughout, but good theory. Paul, do you have any?
No, not on that one.
Okay, you guys are going to hate this one. Now, I was going to say that I don't believe it, but it's just a theory. I'm going to throw it out. We're sure Clint Eastwood is a good actor.
Oh my God.
Definitely.
Do you want to edit that out?
But he's been nominated twice for an Oscar, but he's only ever won in director. Do you reckon he just plays the same character every time? Like, does he have much emotion or range, guys? I don't believe this. It's a theory. Don't. The whole time I've been sitting on this, the whole movie, where you two have been talking about how much you love it. I'm like, oh God,
smoke up Clint Eastwood's butt.
I can't even hold my theory down. He He just seems like a grumpy old man in all his movies. But
I'm either going to Paul, hey man, do you reckon he should have won the Oscar over Al Pacino?
Yeah,
and you sat quiet. You sat quiet. Man.
All right.
Oh, go to the bathroom and wash your mouth out with soap, Jez. Okay, I think that is just one of the absolute fantastic demeanors that he does play in a lot of his roles. He just comes across as the mean, no bullshit character, whether he's playing a Western, he's playing the tough cop in Dirty Harry. And yes, he plays a very similar character, but he holds those characters in great stead. He really does.
As I said, I don't believe it wholeheartedly. I just throw it out there, but I agree with you, Paul. I just wanted to throw it out, and I was like, oh, maybe I will throw it out because it's going to cause some shit.
It's a good question, and I think there are other actors too, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger or a Sly Stallone, that have sort of been typecast in that one sort of mold as like an action hero and things like that. Even though they've both done a few other things, maybe I haven't seen all of Clint's movies. Maybe he does a little bit of other things, but even though maybe he is sort of typecast, according to Jeremy, I still think he's a pretty good actor. So
I won't hear a bad word about Arnold Schwarzenegger, Brad. All right, the Dom Toretto life lesson. What's your Dom Toretto life lesson, Paul?
Don't stick someone's dead friend out the front of the saloon, or you're gonna pay the piper. So.
Paying the piper, I love it. If someone did that to me, Paul, would you come and get revenge?
Oh, most definitely, Brad. I'm there.
Oh, Jesus,
Brad, any life lessons?
I had the romantic myth versus the cold reality. So I think in life, people often chase a flashy, idolized version of what they think, looks successful. Like you see all those TikTok holiday reels and they're like, come visit this. And then you see people go there and it's like nothing like what they thought it was going to be. And it's kind of like, this Schofield kid bragging about being a killer and stuff. But when you actually kill someone, it's like, oh, this really isn't what I thought it was going to be. So I had that, the romantic myth versus the cold reality.
Awesome. I had never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. I will start. So parenting again, aired with me. So what? Reckon Clint's away for a month minimum. Just leaves the kid to run the farm, or the kids to run the farm, look after themselves. Not quite sure how the wife would feel about it. He then guilts the children about like the dead mum is watching over them if they stuff up or do anything wrong. And again, as I mentioned, kill a chicken if you need to. Like, what WTF? What else are they eating? And then Morgan Freeman is like, oh, if they get any trouble, go to his wife, Sally Two Trees. Again, doesn't seem like the most accommodating lady that I've ever kind of seen on film. So I'm not too sure about that. Strawberry Alice not letting Delilah getting the pony. Again, baffled a little bit like that. This one got to me. I like that Will is a bit clumsy getting on the horse and like showed that he'd been out of action for a while. However, surely after a couple of weeks, he'd come back to like riding a bike. He's back to normality. Like after they killed the guy in the toilet and he's still fumbling around. I'm like, hey man, like, are you actually sure you're the person that you say he was? And then I don't think Will is leaving Skinny's bar at the end. There's like 20 guys in there and they're all shooting at him. I kind of feel like he might have got shot. They're my grievances. Paul, did you have any?
Oh, look, only just the one for myself. It was the fact that Will had to get completely liquored up to go into the bar and shoot the stuffing out of everybody.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. He's a renowned gunslinger. He's got a very, very bad history, but to do any of those actions, he always seems to have to be pissed. So it was like, your skill's no good when you're not drunk. So.
Like me playing Paul. Like me playing pool, Paul. Can't speak. Brad, any grievances?
We've covered them all. I had the text scroll at the end, and then I had the abandoning the kids. Like, they look like, I mean, how old are they? Like 8? Like, they can fend for themselves? Like, seriously. Like, yeah. They'll mow you too.
Okay. Paul, what's your letterbox rating?
Letterbox rating, guys, I gave it a 3.5 stars. It's a definite fantastic Western movie. I do like some of Clint's other ones a little bit better, just with the way that he portrays his roles. And he just goes from like Pale Rider being a preacher, and then he turns into the instant gunslinger, and just a few other Westerns that he has done. So yeah, 3.5 from me, guys.
Nice. Brad?
Man, it was so close. It was so close to being up there that I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this. Like you, Jez, I did watch it on SBS for free and it had ads. So I'm like, hell no, I'm going to buy this. So I bought it on YouTube. So on my letterbox wording was money well spent, spelt like more money. So yeah, really, really fantastic movie. I'm so glad I got to see this.
So I gave it 3 stars. Not my most favorite Western, but it's in my top 12. So it's great. Like Paul, like The Good and Bad, The Ugly, and I think I want to see the other 2, and I'm sure there's some other.
I need to see them now. I need to see them.
Yeah, there's some other ones. We will be doing The Good and Bad, The Ugly, and I think Paul will probably be getting you back for this movie. I am actually pairing the movie with Rocky 3. Reason for it, protagonists both get beaten up and need to mend and come back. You know, in this instance, he comes back to fight Mr. T. I probably also did it because I wanted to say, I pity the fool. What movie would you be pairing it with?
I had The Quick and the Dead, if you want that bad sheriff angle, and then I had Kill Bill, if you want the revenge thriller. So, yeah, but to your point, I really want to see that Western trilogy. I know Quentin Tarantino's spoken about it. He reckons it's the best trilogy ever, which is a fistful of dollars, a few dollars more. It's The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. So
is it that way, Paul? Or is it The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is the first one?
Yeah, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is the first one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay,
so I've seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and then I've got to see the next 2.
Fistful of dollars, and then a few dollars more.
more. Yep.
Okay, I need to watch that. I need to watch them.
So, any final thoughts, Paul? Anything we missed that you want to shout out about the movie, or any other thoughts?
Oh, look, it was a pleasure to watch it again and review it with you guys. Absolutely fantastic and enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on your podcast, guys. It was nice, as Brad did. I watched it on SBS, so I had the ads, which was a little bit of a pain, especially
take it back to those Sunday night movies, Paul.
Yeah,
Channel 9 and 10. And
back to the Sunday night movie with everybody around the Google box. So, no, great movie, guys, and thanks for the privilege.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Brad, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I really loved it. I was so close to giving it a 5. I really do think it's almost a perfect movie. I think it's a little bit drags on there at the start. We mentioned a little bit, but that ending, man, that last bar saloon fight scene, like I said, 20 out of 10. It's fantastic, and Hackman is just perfect for this role. I mean, you got Hackman, you got Freeman, you got Eastwood. I mean, geez, man, like this movie is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really wanting me to get into more westerns. So, yeah, Paul, like, been awesome having you on, mate. You nailed the you nailed the porn title, you nailed the Bruce Campbell. So yeah, man, you're welcome back anytime. But yeah, this movie was I thoroughly enjoyed it. One of my highest rated movies. So
yeah, thanks as well, Paul. It's been really fun having you. Anything you want to plug, Paul?
No, all good.
Good.
I'm not cutting that out. I'll leave that in. No, all good. That's a Clint Eastwood impression.
Well, he might run his own business or something. Alrighty, boys and girls, that's going to do it for another episode of In the Mood for a Movie. We'll see you in a fortnight. I believe we're doing Walk Amongst the Tombstones, so looking forward to some Liam Neeson. I believe it's on Stan if anybody wants to get ahead. Again, Paul, been a pleasure having you on, mate. Looking forward to having you on again, potentially for another Western or maybe something else. Thanks, Brad, and we'll catch everybody next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Paulie. Thanks, everyone.